baddest man on the planet has recently expressed that he feels his expiration date is almost up. You probably got that reference, but just in case you didn't, we're talking about no one other than American former professional boxer Mike Tyson. In a few now viral images, Tyson was spotted in a wheelchair at Miami Airport. So let's dive into this, starting with why were fans worried about Tyson? On August 17th, the New York Post posted 2 images featuring Mike Tyson at the Miami airport. The images stirred up quite a storm online. But why? Tyson could be seen slouching in a wheelchair in the images. He also had a walking stick rested on his lap while a friend or family member wheeled him through the airport. Interestingly enough, in one of the 2 images, Kid Dynamite was seen smiling as he posed for a picture with a fan. Notwithstanding the smile on his face, fans were quick to offer well wishes to the former world heavyweight champion. There were 2 groups of people, those who offered their well wishes and those who stirred up controversy suggesting that Tyson wasn't making an out-of-context comment when he expressed months earlier that his expiration date was almost up. Here are the facts. Tyson entered Miami Airport in August sporting a walking cane. Well, technically, he didn't enter the airport so much as he limped into the building. After struggling for a minute, he was offered a wheelchair and was wheeled around the airport. In spite of all the rumors floating about, Tyson's health isn't in any immediate jeopardy. A source close to the 3-year reigning world champion revealed that the boxer had been suffering from a sciatica flare-up. The injury had actually occurred years prior. Again, nothing to worry about. The injury was pretty routine for an athlete, according to the source. Let's talk about what is sciatica. Should we be worried? To preface, no, you shouldn't be too worried. Sciatica refers to the unilateral pain in the lower back that radiates towards the leg, typically the back of the leg towards the thigh and calf muscles. This condition is often caused by an impingement on the sciatic nerve, which originates from the lumbar region of the spinal cord. In simpler terms, if you've had a hernia in the past, that is your muscles and discs have been displaced. They can impinge on the sciatic nerve, and the condition usually affects one side of the body. The pain can range from mild pain that lasts between a few seconds up to a minute at most, or excruciating pain that lasts for hours and probably requires medical attention. In Tyson's case, the flare-up probably occurred after he put too much strain on his back following a past back injury. Other symptoms of sciatica include jolting pain in one or both legs, loss of bladder function, and throbbing pain in the lower back. Not to mention what could have caused the flare-up. It might be hard to pinpoint exactly when the former world #1 could have injured himself severely enough for sciatica flare-up to continue years later, but a fair guess would be Tyson's famous, almost surprising back injury revelation in a post-match interview from 2003 against Clifford Etienne. The baddest man on the planet had been living a rough couple of years in the early 2000s. He was facing legal troubles, seeking bankruptcy, and lost his titles to Lennox Lewis. This came following revelations that Tyson had been out of shape ever since he traded in training for partying. The former world #1 was determined to show the world he was better than ever. On February 23rd of 2003, Mike Tyson was scheduled to fight against fringe contender Clifford Etienne. Etienne had an impressive career of his own. He was 24-1 and named as the 2000's most exciting fighter to watch. Etienne was undoubtedly in a league of his own, but that league was a level below Mike Tyson. This match was fairly short. Well, it lasted less than a minute after Tyson knocked out Etienne in the first round in under 49 seconds with a short right hand. The crowd was hysterical. Everyone was cheering Tyson on following his phenomenal win. Jim Gary caught up with the winner after the match, and this is where things got more interesting. Tyson revealed that he had thought he had broken his back. Now, it was pretty obvious that he couldn't have broken his back from a 49-second fight, and Tyson later told Gary that the injury had actually occurred weeks ago. Yep, Mike Tyson managed to knock out a current contender in under a minute with a broken back. Ironically, this would be Tyson's last professional win. Moving on, what did Tyson mean when he said his expiration date was up? On June 3rd of 2005, shortly after announcing his retirement from professional boxing, the former world #1 offered a rather concerning interview to USA Today. Tyson told interviewers that he felt like he hadn't done anything worthwhile in his life and that everything felt like it was coming to a close. The former professional boxer went on to state that he was disappointed in how people had built him up but tore him down. He claimed he wanted to spend the rest of his days as a missionary. And for a long while after, no one would hear much from Tyson. He retreated to his home in Phoenix Valley and tended to his 350 pigeons until taking up entertainment boxing shows at Las Vegas casinos. Notwithstanding his career as a professional boxer, Mike Tyson has managed to stay relevant with his post-retirement interviews, endorsements, and entertainment appearances. In 2017, Tyson announced that he'd be hosting a regular podcast called Hot Boxin'. In fact, in an episode released just a few weeks ago, the former professional boxer talked about mortality. "We're all going to die someday, of course," he prefaced. "Then, when I look in the mirror, I see those little dots on my face and I say, wow, that means my expiration date is coming up pretty soon," said Tyson. Now for, how's Mike Tyson's health? People on the internet were quick to come up with morbid reasons for the world #1 to have been wheeled around at Miami Airport. Speculation ranged from knee injuries to tumors. And while TMZ reported that the images were nothing to stress over, we needed to hear it from the man himself just to be sure. And we did. Tyson Tyson went online a few days later to put the rumors to rest. He basically reiterated everything that a source had told TMZ. The injury was a sciatica flare-up that affects him on and off. While admitting that he was in a huge deal of pain, Tyson told fans that it was nothing grave and that it was luckily the only ailment he had. The former professional boxer went on to thank his well-wishers. Tyson is no stranger to injury. In November of 1991, Tyson had to reschedule match against Donovan Ruddock after reporting a cartilage injury during training. Then in 2004, Tyson had his 5th career defeat against Danny Williams after sustaining a knee injury in the first round. And of course, the back injury the boxer had sustained while training. Notwithstanding Tyson's propensity to injure himself, we'll take Kid Dynamite's word on it. He couldn't be better. And now for other news. First up, Andy Ruiz Jr. bags a win. Former world heavyweight champion Andy Ruiz Jr. dropped opponent Luis Ortiz 3 times to secure a unanimous win for the WBC title eliminator. The Mexican-American dropped his opponent twice, in round 2 and 7, before ultimately securing a win and moving on to compete against fellow former champion Deontay Wilder. Wilder was ringside at their match in California. Ruiz now holds a record of 35 wins from 37 fights, while it was the 3rd loss of Ortiz's professional career, with the previous 2 both coming against former WBC champion Wilder. "I want to be champion again and bring that belt back to Mexico," claimed the winner in a post-match interview. Up next, Tyson forgot he was in a movie. A video featuring a dazed, confused, and stoned Mike Tyson is making rounds on the internet. The video features the former world #1 surrounded by a group of friends getting stoned. Camera pans to Tyson. Someone asked him if he started in any new movies recently. Tyson, visibly confused, shakes his head no. This prompts the man behind the camera to remind him of his cameo in a Bollywood movie, Liger. Tyson's still pretty confused despite the revelation and says, "Read it back to me." Liger was released on August 27th of 2022 and has been deemed a box office flop. Wrapping things up, Chael Sonnen has a few choice words for Tyson. American former mixed martial artist Chael Sonnen had a few choice words to say about Mike Tyson. Sonnen sat down for an interview sometime last week where he took a dig at the former professional boxer by claiming that every time he saw Tyson, he had his hand out. The comments were in reference to Tyson asking for appeals, donations, and endorsements. It's important to note that shortly after retiring from professional boxing in 2005, Mike Tyson declared bankruptcy and cited a $23 million debt. And that's a wrap for this video. Thanks for watching, and let us know what you thought in the comments below. We'll see you in the next one.